The textile industry is a major contributor to global warming and water pollution. As green awareness rises in the world, Alice Kahn reports fashion retailers are demanding greater sustainability from their suppliers.
The hustle-bustle of Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia. The country opened up to the outside world in the middle of the 90s. Its economy has been developing at a fast pace since that time. GDP reached 6.5% last year. The IMF says the economy should grow 7.6% this year. Cambodia has attracted many garment-making companies that want to take advantage of its quota-free status with the European Union. The developing country has also enjoyed tariff concessions from the EU since 2011. Ed Chan set up its factories here 16 years ago. It makes clothes for fashion retailers around the world. The Hong Kong-listed firm has 5 factories in Cambodia and 6 on the mainland.
Actually, the EU rules allow us to manufacture the fabrics in mainland China or elsewhere, then sew in finished production in Cambodia, and then export them as Cambodia products.
90% of its garments go to the EU.
Cambodia's edge is it's easy to hire workers. Wage-wise, it's 1/3 the cost of the mainland. The country has minimum wage. When we first got there, the minimum wage was about $41 a month. It's gone up to $80 now, but we're paying more than that, almost $120. But it is still only 1/3 of that in the mainland.
Higher wages generate higher productivity. The celebration is to mark the opening of its new factory in Phnom Penh. It spent 3 million Hong Kong dollars building this operation, which is totally green.
Actually, green factory means using less electricity and less water. Also, waste separation and paper recycling.
To reduce power charges, it installed these rooftop windows that allow natural daylight to come through into the factory floor. Temperatures in Cambodia can go up to 40 degrees Celsius. The factory installed these water curtains to increase airflow. These energy-saving measures can help reduce electricity consumption by 20%. Worker morale improved too. The green measures have added to their costs, but they had to do it to keep a big customer happy. British retail giant Marks & Spencer demanded Ed Chan's and its other suppliers to squeeze at least 10% energy savings out of their operations. The head of region, Richard Thomas, says it was forced to adopt a greener environmental policy.
It's driven by the customer, the consumer, wants that their products are manufactured in an environmentally friendly manner, trying to make sure that we use the Earth's scarce resources effectively and don't waste them.
At the moment, the fashion retailer is working with 70 green factories around the world.
One of the goals to achieve carbon neutrality and certainly to reduce waste to a level where everything is recycled.
The company set the target that 50% of its products should come from sustainable sources by 2015. Meaning from factories that use recycled or organic materials like cotton, or made in factories that adopt resource-saving measures. It says all its product will come from sustainable sources by 2020. Factories that comply get a M&S certificate. The head of Innovation and Quality says there is also a financial incentive behind the certificate.
We pledge to them that we will not move their production to another factory that doesn't have that eco status. And so there's a great security then for companies that invest in this way of working, that their long-term future is closely linked with our own.
Professor Ho Kin Chung of the Open University says the trend these days is to go green before companies start losing green.
Consumer asks for some eco labels. You can gain the market of the country. They are of higher environmental awareness.
Consumers are willing to pay a margin for green products.
Currently, Ed Chan sells 20% of its garments to the British retailer. Soon, that will rise to 30%. To cash in on the green trend, Martin Wong is going to turn all his factories in Cambodia green. Martin's company has had less luck bringing green practices to its mainland dyeing factories. We checked with a mainland green group and found that in 2008, it had put Ed Chan's on the list of companies it said were spilling high levels of heavy metals into the environment. The group, the Institute of Public and Environmental Affairs, says the toxic waste exceeded government limits. Martin says it is hard to keep up with the ever-increasing anti-pollution standards on the mainland.
Some heavy metals, such as phosphorus, their emission limits have been tightened. Their requirement increases every year.
We asked M&S if they were aware of the report and Ed Chan's presence on the list. Fraser Mead said M&S audits its suppliers to ensure they remain sustainable.
Where it does happen, we take firm steps. We give very defined periods to clean up and to ensure that it doesn't happen again. But obviously the ultimate sanction is disengagement.
We asked if they had been auditing their suppliers, why did Ed Chan slip through the M&S net?
Well, one of the issues that all retailers face is that we don't have 100% ownership of fabric suppliers. So we may be 5 or 10% of somebody's production, okay? Which is why it's so important that hearts and minds are converted, because when they're working on the 90% that isn't for you, they need to also have that same mentality.
Those ever-increasing pollution standards have put other manufacturers on notice that times are changing.
10 years ago, when China implemented the Cleaner Production Promotion Law, Hong Kong companies are required to adopt the green production practices.
This is the Maozhou River. It runs through Shenzhen. Factory and residents nearby dump their waste into the waterway. A Hong Kong company, Sunhing Industrial, a dyeing and knitting company, relies on this polluted river for water in its operations. Company workers have to remove the waste from the river every day.
You can see it is very dark and with a bad smell. Okay, you can see a lot of rubbish containing the domestic solid waste and chemical waste, but we have no choice. For this local region, the water supply is very limited. We will find the water source for the dyeing finishing, and that's why we rely on this Maozhou River.
Sunhing requires 7,000 tons of water every day and disposes of 5,000 tons of wastewater. The river was suffering so much. To reduce wastewater, Patrick Yam built a 65 million Hong Kong dollars water treatment plant to clean things up.
After our dyeing finishing, we also use the biochemical method to treat our wastewater, and then passing through the artificial wetland, and finally to the oxidation pond before discharge. And right now, 40% will be reused internally, and 60% will be discharged back to the Maozhou River. And you can see this water quality is very clean, and even the koi fish can survive and live more happy.
His latest green project is this $3 million solar energy system that can generate 46 million watts of electricity. As the factory requires a tremendous amount of heat and steam to press the garments, the process releases heat into the air, contributing to the greenhouse effect. So Patrick installed a steam trap to recycle it and send it back to the compressors.
Based on this heat recovery device, and you can save 2,600 tons of the standard coal.
The steam also passes through the heat exchanger to heat up the tap water and use it in the dormitory. Patrick says it can save 1 million renminbi annually. Sunhing Industrial is a fabric supply for M&S. It's got the Eco Certificate. CEO Ian Lowe says the sustainability measures have enabled him to demand a higher price than competitors.
We concentrate in the medium to high-end product. That is, I think the customer can pay a little bit more on the product. That is what we can make money from.
Although Southeast Asian countries have less stringent green policies and provide a lower cost base, Hong Kong's manufacturers believe the green wave will be lapping at their shores very soon.
Thanks for joining us. Coming up next week, we'll go looking for the perfect toys on Christmas morning and the perfect stocks for your investments. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.